Is going on, Rotogrinders? Dean here. Dean, 7904, that is the daily fantasy handle around the industry. It's 5:30 on the East Coast, 2:30 West Coast, 4:30 Tennessee time. So, of course, that means it's time for the flagship show here at Rotogrinders. It's called Grinderslive. Joining me today, it's the last week of the season. Still, we're rolling out with a three-man booth, batting first, leading off. Andre Dre's with us. Dre's won $1 million, I think, stacking the Yankees once. Was it the Yankee stack that did it for you?
Definitely wasn't the Yankee stack.
It doesn't. Why do I keep forgetting this? Who was it?
Red Sox stack, actually, with the
couple one. You know what? And he should be batting cleanup tonight. I should have been leading off. That's
Well, how deep is our order? Who else is? We got Devin.
Well, it's me, you, Devin, Devo, and Dre here. We got to figure out the order.
And fourth is that would be. I don't know how that works. But maybe you have someone else at fourth. A surprise guest. They'll be joining us later. Andre, what's going on? How are things in your world? We have 1 week left in baseball till the playoffs start. Less than 1 week, actually. We're still grinding though. How are we feeling about tonight's slate? We had a nice pre-show conversation about Taijuan Walker, amongst other things, who's going to be super, super chalky. And yeah, you're mostly a tournament guy, so I'm really curious to get your take. We'll save that one. We'll talk about it soon enough. But as far as your general thoughts on this slate, kind of sort of what we had yesterday. Boston's the mega chalk. No Coors though. Coors played in the afternoon. Give me your screenshot. What are you looking at as far as today's slate?
It is ugly, but I like it at the same time. So Boston failed last night, but I expect them to turn around tonight. But it's an interesting one. There's a couple teams out here that you can attack at tournaments, and I definitely have a hot take that a team I'm going to be well over the field on that not many people are going to play, and I expect them to go off tonight.
I'm looking forward to it. I think. Well, yeah, you kind of sort of hinted at it, and I'm sort of with you. At least a part of that. We'll have that conversation. It's gonna be good. Kirk D's Kid Yahoo, as the kids call him. That's what I'm told. Despite the fact, I mean, come on, whenever we retire the Kid Yahoo moniker, I mean, you're not like 23 or 24 or 25. I don't want to keep going, but Kirkies, when are we going to stop calling you Kid Yahoo?
I'm a kid at heart, Dean. I'm a kid at heart, and that's all that matters. So I think the nickname stays.
Fair enough. Well, what are your thoughts as far as tonight's slate?
I think it's I kind of hate the slate. So, and it's only because of my own personal, the way I'm going to have to play. So I'm a Red Sox fan. And so unfortunately I have to play the Sox tonight, and they're going to be massive chalk, and they're completely gutless lately. And so whatever, I'm going to go back to them. But the thing is that every projection system across the industry is spitting out the same stuff tonight. So it's like, I use that to give me a feel of what's going to go down tonight. And it looks like it's going to be, like you said, Taijuan Walker and Red Sox. And unfortunately, I also kind of like Taijuan Walker. So we'll talk about that. So I feel like a chalk fish tonight. I should be playing cash, but I'm going to be paying the rake in tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, projection systems are certainly helpful in baseball. I think they're more helpful when it comes to pitchers than does for hitters. And like, you know, how do you project a guy who gets 4 opportunities, 4 at bats or 5 at bats? Like, they can go for 5, and it wouldn't surprise us. We always talk about the best hitter in all of baseball goes over 5, and they put a 0. You can't put a 0 as a projection. And that's the kind of thing, Andre. And like, I'm looking at the projection system as well, too. We talked about Singer yesterday. Me and Will came on here and trashed Singer, and, you know, we're not pointing to the scoreboard. We get a lot of stuff wrong, but that was just kind of sort of somewhat weird. And today it's Walker, and we get it. He's in a better spot facing the Marlins in a nice positive ballpark. But like, Andre, I think we're supposed to take advantage of projection systems because the variance is wild, and projecting what hitters are going to do is just, it's a crazy thought. Like, you could get general ideas and it could, you know, put you on certain things, but how much do you really look at projections as far as hitters?
Well, I do look at the projections sometimes when it comes to hitters, but I mainly just try to go off of how they've been playing lately, and a couple other things and how they match up with the pitch going against the specific pitcher they have with and the pitchers and the pitches that they pitch. So I use all that combined with it just to give me an idea of what I want to go with and who I want to go and who I want to attack and where I want to be at on the field when it comes to certain guys and certain teams. So I just tend to use that a lot and end up where I am most of the time, and hopefully most of the time it's right, but lately it's been a little rough lately.
Hey man, that means you're due for a bounce back tonight. Well, speaking of the projection systems, and also we talked about this one kind of pre-show a little bit as well. Like Carlos Rodon, like there's no chance I'm playing Carlos Rodon. This kind of similar situation with Woodruff yesterday, but like Curtis, we're not playing Carlos Rodon tonight, right? Because why in the world the White Sox are locked in their spot? This guy has been up and down throughout the year as far as injuries. He's been phenomenal when he's been out there, but they're not going to push him. He's old. He's had arm issues. They're locked into their playoff spot. And some projections are pumping him out there, and I get it, but I don't know if it bakes into the thought process of he's not going to throw like 95 pitches, right? That's not going to happen, is it? I don't think so.
Yeah, there's some concerning stuff with him too. La Russa was talking about his bullpen session on Sunday and said it was just okay, that he didn't go at full intensity. This is a guy who has, had arm issues. And, like you said, that they're already locked into where they are. So I know I'm looking at the same projection systems as you, and especially the one that thought it was a good idea to have Brady Singer as the highest projected overall pitcher last night. I'm not pointing fingers, just saying. But Carlos Rodon, I think his pitch count is a little high tonight, and he's getting spit out in on certain sites here. So I think it's a big opportunity to fade him for sure.
Yeah, let's have
unless everyone's smart enough to just knock it down themselves.
Yeah, and to be fair, we're still an hour and a half or so from first pitch, maybe even later as far as that game, and those kind of things do get changed throughout the day. I'm not really sure we haven't projected that, to be honest, but just the idea of him getting any ownership, I X'd him out. Like, and you got to pay a full allotment on DK. He's 10.2. I'm not even sure what his FanDuel price is, to be honest, but there's just no chance I'm playing Rodon, especially. The other part of it is there actually real life good pitchers in this slate, and that kind of bakes into the conversation as far as Taijuan Walker, which we'll get into. Andre, let's talk about Scherzer, like Max Scherzer and Garrett Cole, like two of the best pitchers in all of baseball. Noah's really solid as well, too. Tough matchup, obviously. Tough matchup all around. Scherzer, not the greatest matchup in the world, but he does get to pick on a pitcher. He's been absolutely phenomenal, just amazing with the Dodgers. If you throw out that Colorado game last time out, which I think you could throw it out. Sure, why not? Otherwise, he's just been like the best pitcher in all of baseball. This will put the nail in the Cy Young for him. I think he's currently the favorite, and I imagine this will be like this. This has got to be his last performance. Yeah. Wednesday, well, depending on, he might end up playing like a game 163 or game one or the wild card game, how that works out with the Dodgers, which is crazy. They're currently 2 games behind San Fran. And then Garrett Cole, tough matchup against Toronto. Toronto's a good team, not the best ballpark to pitch in. And of course, they don't strike out a ton either. Before we talk about Walker, let's talk about the absolute studs. Andre, what are we doing with Mad Max and Garrett Cole?
I love Mad Max tonight. He's the best pitcher on the slate. There's no reason why you shouldn't lock him in. I'm gonna probably be over the field on him. There's no reason not to be. They need to still win. Obviously, the Dodgers are still playing for the division, so that to me incentivizes me and makes me feel comfortable with going well over the field on him. I expect him to pretty much pitch nothing but a perfect game or a damn near perfect game against the Padres. So I'm gonna, like I said, tend to be able to feel for him for sure. And Garrett Cole, I like him in tournaments. My Yankees, I think we secured pretty much a wild card, but Garrett Cole needs to stay healthy, and I'm worried about him and his health a little bit, especially with I know the last 2 starts he's been fine, but he still hasn't been himself and not pitching up to how he should be. So I think this will be like a nice little tune-up. I think they won't push him that far. Maybe go like 5-6 innings and just hopefully get him in and get him out there without hurting himself against Toronto. Because like I said, the Yankees, I think they're going to be in the playoffs for sure. And at least they're definitely going to be in a wild card and have to worry about that and have to have him healthy for that game 1, and where he's going to probably have to pitch like hopefully 7-8 innings in that one.
Yeah, that's a good thought. I haven't thought about because I'm thinking in my head the Yankees are still battling, but you're right. Like they basically have that wild card spot. If you look at the 538 projection stuff, it's 90% to make the playoffs. They can't move out of that wild card. They're not winning the division. There's nowhere to go up, and they're going to need them for that wild card game. It's not clinched yet, but you're right. Maybe they don't push them as hard as they have to. And depending on how the game's going, if they're up like 7-1 in the sixth, something like that, that's a theoretical score. He possibly does get the hook. I do think that's worth considering for sure. I'm sure they're well ahead of them tonight. They're 2 games behind the Giants to win the, and they basically sort of have to win out the way the Giants are playing these days. Just keep they've been so amazing all season long. Curtis, your thought as far as that with Scherzer and with Cole, and maybe Cole does pitch a little bit less depending on the game, and the Yankees basically are in the playoffs. It's not automatic, but it feels like, they're essentially in. Your thoughts?
I don't think they'd really baby, in my personal opinion, because they're facing Toronto. This is like the one, even though it looks bad, but like one, if they did, it is the one team that they're trying to hold off. And the Red Sox and trying to do the same thing. They should have it. Obviously they're over 90% now on FanGraphs, so they look like pretty locked in. But I could still see him letting Cole just be Cole. Now with Max Scherzer, I damn near expect him to have as maximum max tonight in this start, right? Maximum, so full blown. As long as he's pitching well, I'm expecting definitely north of 100 pitches, and so. Yeah, Max is my favorite. I think Cole is great for tournaments tonight. I don't know. And then we get into some of the other guys that you're about to mention.
That's a good point, by the way. And by the way, Seattle is still lurking. Seattle's not officially out. According to the 538, Toronto a 28% chance. Obviously, that they have to win tonight, beat the Yankees. The Mariners have a 22% chance. So they theoretically still have a shot too, for what it's worth. So good for them. Oakland, less than 1%. They probably need to win out and need everything to happen in their favor. But and also Max has a, let's see, as far as the umpires, I was looking at this earlier today. I just want to make sure this has not changed. No, why would it? Because it's the second game of the series. Yeah, so Eovaldi, there's 2 extremes as far as the umpire data. Eovaldi's got an extreme hitters umpire. I think we'll talk about Eovaldi in a second, based on Baltimore. He's been fabulous this season for the most part. And then extreme pitchers umpire for Max Scherzer. One more reason to, the only reason why you wouldn't roster him is, salary reasons. He's kind of sort of somewhat expensive. I would say much easier to roster on DK than he is on FanDuel. FanDuel, tighter cap. You don't have an SB2 to kind of makes things easier as far as fitting in other dudes. So, FanDuel, he's not in the quote unquote optimal lineup right now on FanDuel. He just because of how expensive he is. But I embrace that in tournaments, and I will for sure have some Scherzer in tournaments on FanDuel. Andre, your thoughts as far as Eovaldi?
Yeah, I like him tonight. I know it's a hitter's park in Baltimore, but he had one bad game against the Yankees the last time out. But we can throw that away, I think, and just load him back up and having your lineups. They definitely need to win tonight. So especially to hold up to Seattle. So I expect them to go probably like 7 innings as long as he can go, and pitch a good game against Baltimore. So I'm gonna definitely have some Eovaldi in my lineups for sure.
Talk about your Red Sox there, Kirk. Eovaldi's he going to step up tonight?
Completely gutless. He broke my heart against the Yankees, and I will forever never play him again. No, he's done. He's been incredible. I'm probably not going to play him tonight because I just don't trust him. But he's been incredible. Besides that one bad start, I mean, even over the last 30 days, we're looking at just about a 30% K percentage, 7% walks, which is a little bit. It's okay.
30% and 7% is still pretty good. It's just not.
It's pretty good. It's okay. Yeah. It's just when you look at Scherzer and you see 2.4%, and you're like, okay.
Well, yeah, that's Scherzer, but yeah.
Go ahead. But I mean, sure, I kind of like some other guys in that range better than him. I kind of like Frankie Montas a little more, although that is going against Grant and his Mariners. So I want Grant to chime in. I want to know if he's on a Mariners stack tonight. So that will influence me on whether I really like Montas.
You're that easily swayed that Grant is good. That's his hometown team.
I respect Grant. So yes, I am easily. He's one of the few people that could influence me.
Oh, who else is on that list? Do you want to share it or no?
I mean, Chop with his BVP plays. Always, those are auto locks.
You don't need Chop to point to you can find the BVP data. You don't need Chopper to point it out for you. It's not that hard.
I haven't figured out how to look it up.
I'll send you a link if you really want it. We might even have it here in Rotogrinders, buried someplace in our tools. I have no idea. I've never found it or looked for it, but there's another place you can find it. It's very simple. Let's have the Taijuan Walker conversation, boys. By the way, you mentioned Grant in chat. What up, Grant? What up, chat? Do subscribe, turn on notifications. Maybe Grant is batting cleanup for us. How about that? Or the entire chat is batting cleanup. fire off on your questions. Devin, batting third. Devin, our producer, is compiling those questions. Do give us details. Questions as far as the slate. Thought-provoking questions. Just this stack, that stack. What do you prefer? This player, that player. Do you like this pitcher? Expand on this guy. Why didn't you talk about that guy? And make sure to tell us like what site you're talking about. FanDuel, DK, Yahoo. We got Kid Yahoo right here. And also for tournaments, if you're still playing cash these days, let us know if it's a cash question as well. And Devin will compile those questions, throw them my way, and I'm happy to ask both Andre and Kirk Dees later on in the show. All right, Taijuan Walker, you said you like him, right, Kirk Dees? Well, I'm sure it's a relative. You're willing to play him tonight, and it's not that we're not going to play him, but we want to play less, I think. Talk to me about Taijuan Walker and why you're considering him tonight, Kirk Dees.
All right, he's been atrocious. Absolutely atrocious over the second half here, and maybe that's you called that all season long. You were beating that drum.
Yes,
that regression's coming. So I'll give you credit for that. Credit to you for that. However, he's over the last 30 days, he's sporting a 34.8% home run to 5 ball rate. I'm willing to bet that that's going to come down a little. He's got a 4.15 home run per 9. He can't be this bad. It's all about the matchup with him. He's, he did have 8 strikeouts in his last good start against the Yankees, where he did also give up a bunch of runs too, but the strikeouts were there. And that's what I'm looking for with the Marlins. The Marlins are atrocious. They have a 27%.
I call that one too. I said the Marlins are bad.
Kudos to Dean again. Thank you. Never would have figured that one out.
Nope.
But they are striking out at a massively high clip lately. I mean, we already know they're already up there, but so it's just upside. It sucks that he's going to be so high owned, I think he will be, although I think a lot of the tournament players will, everybody's going to start getting on the same thought, is that, let's stack the Marlins. Let's go underweight.
The Marlins aren't going to be popular.
Maybe he won't be. No, but that'll be like people will say, people will include some for leverage. Everyone will do that a little bit. But I think maybe it might take his ownership down than what we're thinking. But there's just a lot of upside at that price, and that's all I really care about at the end of the day is upside at the price.
By the way, I just did a quick scan on BBP. This isn't officially from Chopper, so take it for what it's worth. JT Realmuto, 23 at bats versus Max Fried, 10 hits and 23 at bats. 2 doubles, a triple, and 3 homers. Get excited. Austin Riley, 24 at-bats versus Nola, 9 hits, 3 doubles, and 3 homers. Are you excited? I don't know if Chop approves, but that's all I got for right now. I just did a quick scan.
Yeah. If Chop gives me the okay, then I'm on board.
Is he lurking in chat? Do you have like a direct Discord DM to him? Or see if you can fire off. Let's see if we can get his BBP plays of the day.
I think he's busy, but I'll send a message out for him right now.
Is Chop's not still grinding baseball, is he? Actually, maybe he is. He probably is. Do you know? Well, we'll find out. Andre, talk to me about Walker.
Everything that Kirk just said pretty much made my case of why you should not play him today. He's just been horrible this year. I understand the regression. Regression should come, but I don't think it's coming in this matchup. He hasn't pitched well against Miami at all this year. And I don't like looking at past games, but when it comes to the data, he's only averaging about 4. I think he's about like 4 strikeouts in the past, on the past like 5 starts he's had. And that's about 30 days. So to me, he's not someone I want to get to a lot. I'm going to hedge it. Obviously I'm going to have a little bit of him. I'm going to have probably like no more than like 10 to 15% of him, but I'm definitely playing Miami today. I'm letting everyone know that now. I will be well over the field. I'll be playing about 15 to 20% of my lineups will be Miami stacks. So I think that Miami is in a spot where they can put up a huge game and a huge number, even though in the pitcher's park. And I just like them today. There's a familiar pitcher that they've done well against. And they have a couple big power bats in their lineup that I like.
Taking a peek here as far as our ownership, as far as the pitchers, DK specific, we have Scherzer at 39%, Walker at 35%, Cole at 20%, Eovaldi at 18%, Montas at 17%, Rodon at 17%. I can't imagine it gets that high, but I certainly hope it is. Nola at 13%, Gilbert at 12%. Is there anybody beyond this, Kirk Dees, that's worth kind of sort of a mention? Hearn's at least stretched out and he's facing the Angels. So I think he's kind of sort of something interesting. If you like a flat out punt, I'm okay with that. Not excited. Gilbert, I guess, is kind of sort of somewhat okay at 12%. Is there anybody here that's worth talking about?
Yeah, you've missed one that I think, and this is out there a little bit, but I think Alex Wood against Arizona. Now the pitch counts have been down because of COVID, when he's working his way back, but they need to keep building his arm strength for this playoff push. And he's been pitching incredibly. They just haven't, pitched him far. He's sporting a 38% K rate in his 2 starts, on working his way back here with 0% walks. I mean, he's been pitching flawlessly. So if we can project him to go further and actually, kind of a bigger bump than not just a little bit, I think a nice big bump here. And he's still locked in the zone. Arizona is definitely an exploitable lineup for sure. They do hit lefties a little bit better than righties. It's not the same matchup, but still it's a good overall matchup. So Alex Wood, I think, is somebody I'm considering for GPPs.
Andre, you have thoughts on Wood? Anybody else that we kind of like maybe sort of kind of skimmed over you want to put a shine of light on?
I like Alex Wood. His price is, 7.9. I'm just worried about, like I said, the pitch counts, but it's a good point. They do have to work them back up, especially for that playoff push that they're going to have. So I just can't get to him tonight. I think I just like a couple other pitchers more. I know we mentioned Evaldi already. I'm going to have a little bit also on Max Fried and Aaronola as well. And obviously Fried is about $700 more. But I think those two are just fine in tournaments to take chances on. And both teams, they can pitch well with both teams, or they get blown up by both teams. So I like that type of variance in GPPs and going with them. So those are 2 pitchers I'm definitely going to be targeting. Have a lot of. We mentioned Montinaz, which I like a lot too as well. And Michael Pineda going against Detroit. I like Detroit a little bit. I like both sides of that game, but I like Pineda because he doesn't really get blown up that much. So to me, he's someone I think you can go with and be fine.
By the way, you guys are seeing the features. Producer Devin's showing off. You want to use them at your own leisure. So sometimes I see people say like, "Hey, can you scroll down a little bit?" You guys can scroll down all you want and go to all the different components we have here as far as premium members get to use. Get yourself $10 off the first month of RG Premium. You can get just baseball if you want just baseball. That seems kind of goofy at this point. Or just one sport. You get just one sport. Get football. It's right around the corner. Right on the corner. We're at week 4. Basketball, hockey, that's around the corner. All the sports, NFL, baseball, NBA, NHL, PGA, college football, college basketball, soccer, MMA, esports, WNBA, tennis, AFL, I believe we have content for whatever AFL is. What is AFL? American Football League? Is that what AFL is? Do you guys know what AFL is? Is that what that is? Maybe?
Arena Football League.
Arena. Is that, we have arena football? Is there DFS for that?
I have no idea.
I have no idea. It's written right here. But whatever it is, maybe is it Australian Football League? I don't know. You don't have to use that one, but get $10 off that way. Everything essentially, with the exception of NASCAR, you get access to all the articles and the tools and the videos and the lineup HQ and the projections and the ownership projection and the expert filters and the expert survey, consensus, expert rankings, all that good stuff. $10 off your first month. Have at it. Enjoy yourself. And did want to mention Prize Picks. I saw somebody in chat talking about Prize Picks. Promo code for the people. Use promo code Grinders, GRINDERS, with your first deposit for a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. And Andre, they were asking for some winners. You got some winners for the people today, right?
Yeah, I got a couple that I like a lot. This one that's up on the screen right now. You can't place this one actually just because they won't let you put a hitter against a pitcher. Just to let you guys know in advance. But I obviously got Taijuan Walker under 5.5 strikeouts. I love that spot. And obviously on the opposite side, I got Jazz Chisholm going over 6. I like him to go yard today and a home run against Taijuan Walker. And then I got Byron Buxton over 6 fantasy points in the matchup from Minnesota against Detroit, which I like a lot. Salvador Perez going against Cleveland. And they got him going over 7. And then obviously Mookie Betts going against Weathers in the Dodgers stack, which is a good stack for GPPs tonight.
You mentioned Salvador Perez. We'll talk about him soon enough, but I wasn't quick enough. We write the expert survey, and one of the questions is like, predict a hot take, make a hot take tonight. And would you believe Cheese took mine out of all the wacky things? Cheese beat me to it, so I didn't want to repeat it. But Sal Perez hits 3 home runs to get 50 homers in the season. He's going to get his 50. He's going to get 50 home runs this season. I don't know if he's hitting 3 tonight. But my hot take was that Taijuan Walker, this is like you're going, you be ambitious. Taijuan Walker finishes the night with negative points. How about that, Andre? I know you like that.
I love that.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
just heard from Chop. He
Oh.
says he's got two strong correlated plays from the same game tonight, and that's Austin Riley and JT Realmuto.
those are the two I just said before. Was he watching the
there,
show?
there you go. No, he just gave them, so you nailed it.
I love that they're correlated from the same game because that matters. That matters a lot. It's very important. Curtis, give me a summary as far as pitching tonight.
Pitching is the chalk cash is Taijuan Walker, Max Scherzer pairing. If you want to, people that I'm sure everyone wants to fade Taijuan Walker, so you certainly can do that. There's other strong plays like Garrett Cole, Frankie Montas, Nate Eovaldi, Gilbert. I like getting deeper and having a little Alex Wood tonight for GPPs. That's kind of it for me.
Honor, you got anything to add there?
No, like I said, the same thing. Get as much Scherzer in your life as you possibly can. Evaldi, I like in tournaments. So does Montanas as well. Going significantly under on Taijuan Walker as well, and don't be afraid. It takes some chances on Michael Pineda, who's not going to really get blown up, and he's cheap where you can fit a good quality lineup in, as well as Max Scherzer.
All right, let's talk about some stacks. I mean, this is no secret here, Kirk Dees, right? Your Red Sox, they tanked yesterday. They did it a couple of homers. If you're just homer hunting, that like a small little mini stack.
Schwarber, and he's not in the lineup today.
Yeah, why is that? What up with that?
Gutless. They're all just gutless, this team.
Chris Sale was very angry last night. What did he say?
Oh.
He was like, well, that sucks. So I don't know what happened to his jersey after the game. But yeah, I mean, he wasn't terrible, but they didn't really score a ton of runs either. So are you officially nervous? Where is Boston at as far as that last playoff spot? 60% chance. So
Fangraphs has them at they've been over projecting them anyway, though. They have them at 73.8% chance.
You got to root for the Yankees. You want the Yankees to beat Toronto.
Correct. Well, I didn't. Because I always want the Yankees to lose, and I didn't want the Yankees to make the playoffs. But I think at this point, you're correct.
Yeah, which is kind of a tricky spot. So talk to me about, Boston. Everybody knows they're the clear best stack on the board. They have a team total basically one run higher than everybody else, than the next highest team, essentially. Maybe it's like 0.85 or 0.9, whatever it is. But one run ahead. They're on the road, locked in for 9 in a good ballpark for facing, a rough starter and a rough bullpen. So, and everybody else knows this, but also ownership's going to, go there as well. How are you handling that? How much of that Boston chalk are you embracing?
I'm embracing it because I gotta still pound my boys here, and unfortunately, if I was like really giving advice, I would probably stay away from it. But I'm personally going to be playing it, so I'm just telling you, I'm doing it. And I hate it. I hate it that it's so chalky because it doesn't. They've just been horrendously cold right now. They're none of these guys are hitting. However, this is a great matchup for them tonight. This pitcher is not very good. He did have one good outing against Texas, but all of his numbers are terrible. This is another lefty where should line up well for Kiki, Renfroe, Bogarts, Martinez. Devers can hit lefties decently well. Bobby Dahlback, guy's just a crusher. When he
just missed yesterday.
Just missed a couple of times, pretty much. Yeah. But I mean, yep, exactly. Plawecki's actually probably an upgrade at the catcher from a batting position, but unfortunately, we just don't have any Schwarber in the lineup tonight.
Some slight breaking news. It looks like somebody in chat says Arenado is still listed on Prize Picks and isn't in the lineup. So they may take that bet down if you drop that prop, but maybe try and grab yourself a little free under.
Can you? I don't play on Prize Picks, not yet. I've been wanting to sign up, and I will be soon enough. But can you bet the under on that? That they pull it off the board? Does anybody know how that works?
If anything, you could try it, right?
Can't hurt to try it. And they pull it away. They pull it away. So be it. But yeah, I mean, take advantage of any edge you can find. That sounds like a potential edge. I did want to mention, Andre, I want to get your thoughts as far as Boston as well. And I did want to mention, if you want one reason to get away from Boston, besides how they're going to be overwhelmingly popular, it's not a great weather game in Baltimore. 66 degrees, slight breeze, basically coming into the mound, coming in from center, left center field. 54 game sample. We've seen the home runs take a hit at 17.8%, runs take a hit at 13.8%, and ERA dropping at 13.2%. Again, that's not going to chase me away necessarily, but just interesting to take into account, I suppose. Andre, Boston, talking about the Red Sox, how much are you in? They're going to be popular. Are you embracing it?
I'm gonna be under on them. Just because, like I said, the weather there. It's more so of a pitching weather. Even though the pitchers there is horrible. I'll probably be if anything under or at the field on them, honestly. But they're an amazing spot. I expect them to fully win tonight. But they're probably hopefully won't be able to make the playoffs. Sorry, Kirk. I'm just a Yankee fan over here. So
I know. I can tell already. I mean, it's easy where where both of us stand.
yeah, exactly. So, but I think they should be able to get this one. This one should be easy for them. I don't expect a high scoring game just because of the weather there. And pretty much it's like a little bit cold over here in Northeast. So I don't expect no game over here to really much be popping off as far as for hitting purposes. So to me, that's why I'm gonna take the under on them and tend to go on some other teams just to load up on them and see what happens, which is one of the reasons why I don't mind being extremely high on Miami tonight.
All right, Andre, if we're not playing Boston, we'll talk about Miami in a second, but like, this is our consensus rankings. This is Head Chopper, Dave Potts, Cheese is Good, Keith Eister, myself. And, I think there's a pretty clear dip from one. And then San Fran is the second best team according to our consensus rankings in Minnesota, then the Dodgers, then Texas, then the Yankees, because I put them fifth because nobody's going to play them and there's still a bunch of boppers. And then Houston. And also because like hitting kind of stinks on this slate, right, Andre? Like there's a lot of good pitchers. There's not great, like 100 degrees temperature anywhere, not a lot of great ballpark environments. I just don't love that. That's another reason why I'm just embracing. I'll overpay for Scherzer because I think he can just, come catch me. I got Scherzer, now you come catch me. Hopefully he puts up a big number. Do you agree with San Fran, Minnesota, Dodgers, Texas? Is that correct to you? Is that kind of sort of your thoughts as far as those teams? And, feel free to elaborate on Miami. I think you made it clear that you like Miami as an interesting leverage play against Walker.
Yeah, I definitely agree with pretty much all those teams are pretty much teams I'm going to be at the field, not have a little bit more exposure to for sure. I'm going to probably be more over the field, I think, on the Dodgers because I know Weathers is not a good pitcher. Dodgers are still playing for something. I think though they wrap everything up tonight, hopefully, and as far as maybe they give up on a wild card. I mean the division chase and just settle for the wild card after tonight. So I think they're going to really try to get after it tonight. So the Dodgers is my favorite team to be over the field on. I definitely like Minnesota a lot too. When you got Mays going about 3 innings and that bullpen for the Detroit is not really all that great. So I definitely like Minnesota for sure. And being over the field on them as well. And pretty much any game that's out, I guess more so towards the West Coast and better weather is going to be targeting a lot of. I do like getting a little bit of Seattle just because it's a hedge against Montanas as well as far as a tournament stack. But for the most part, going to be heading in the Midwest or the West Coast when it comes to my stacks.
And Prize Pick should have really anticipated Arenado sitting down or even Goldie. He was actually in the lineup. But as a general thing, what they do in baseball is the night after the game, after a team clinches, they rest all their best players. And then, like, look at the Cardinals lineup today. There's no Yachty. There's no Tyler O'Neill. There's no Arenado. I mean, I guess, I don't know if Hauser becomes interesting, but I guess wherever you have him.
Can we play Matt Carpenter?
Yeah. He's got to clean up. Well, Lars Nootbaar, by the way, is $7 on Yahoo. He might be in your future, Kirk Dees. He's leading off at $7. I'm just saying. Salary cap reasons, you might be playing some Lars Nootbaar over there at $7, and he's 2.3K on DK. And that's just what they do. Like they sit their guys. It's like kind of like let's celebrate, let's chill, and they can't rest everybody because it's not a 40-man roster. They have 28 guys, so you have to roll out actually a few of the regulars. But like goalie will probably be off tomorrow or something like that, I imagine. But just thought that was worth putting out there. Your thought here, Kirk Dees, is other stacks. Throw Boston out of the conversation. What other teams do you like? I mean, there's not a lot to love. There's teams to like and mini stacks to like. I don't know. And some team's going to go off. I don't know how to predict it. But what are you looking at as far as other stacks besides Boston?
Well, I kind of like to look at attacking some bullpens, and so the most attackable bullpens over the last 30 days have been Arizona, Baltimore, Detroit, and Oakland, believe it or not. So I I do certainly have interest in the San Francisco, although that's not, you already said that. So I like them because, once you get into that bullpen, plus Merrill Kelly's had some, really some home run problems. And certainly he's not an intimidating pitcher to go against. So I like that. Baltimore, obviously that bullpen's against the Chalk Red Sox, but Minnesota, I love Minnesota against Detroit. And I know.
When has Minnesota failed us all season long? Oh, wait, every time you play them and they're chalky, but go ahead.
Still gotta like them against 3 innings, like Dre said, of Mize, and then that bullpen who's been pretty bad. They're third in xFIP over the last 30 days. They haven't given up tons of homers, but that's always noise in that small of a sample. So I like that. Other than that, I mean, maybe Seattle. So pick a couple of bats for Grant because Grant said no, and so that maybe they will come through tonight. I don't know.
Either way, now you reverse jinx them or something like that.
Yeah, of course. Right. That's how it goes. Yeah, I don't know. There's not. I mean, maybe a sneaky one that I think Tampa could be sneaky. Garcia has not been great recently. And it's a match of should be extremely low ownership. And you're a bunch of guys who can hit bombs, right? And that's what we want. Brandon Lau. I hate those Crawford boxes, but Wander Franco is in the lineup now. He's back. Cruz. So I can get behind the
Crawford boxes.
No, I hate how it like left center, how it goes, it's they hit bombs to left center that don't go out. Because the way the park is. So
well, that's like Fenway. Like Fenway down the line, the pole, sure, it's like 300, but it jets out really quickly. And also dead center in Fenway is like what, 440 or something like that. It's a big number, isn't it? I feel like it's 420.
Center's rough. It's actually whatever the pesky pole says. I think they say it's like 300. It's actually like 10 feet shorter than that. They just lied because it was the minimum that MLB would allow.
Nobody has a tape measure in like 1902 or whatever.
They just lied. They basically just lied and said it was, and it was all right. I went to on a tour with DraftKings at Fenway Park, and that was one of the things that they mentioned.
I went on the Fenway tour too. Yeah, years ago. Not with DraftKings. I had to pay it out of my own pocket. By the way, I did want to mention San Francisco. We always talk about them double swapping, just always getting the platoon advantage when other pitchers come in, when Kelly goes out. Arizona has 2 lefties in their bullpen, right? Caleb Smith. He pitched on Saturday. He pitched on Sunday. They had a day off on Monday. He pitched on Tuesday. So he's pitched 3 of the last 4 games, 3 of the last 4 days in the last 3 games. 21 pitches, 28 pitches, 27 pitches. I don't know if they're going to throw him out there again. And then the other lefty is Mantiply? Joe Mantiply. Not aware of his existence. He's pitched in the last 4 games then too. Only like 6 pitches and 4 pitches and 7 and 4. I don't know if he's like a loogie. The loogie still exists today. Is that even something they're allowed to have? Well, I guess they can take him out when the inning's over. They bring him with 2 outs or something like that. Didn't pitch yesterday, but just the whole point is, I don't know how available the Arizona lefties are. And why would they push these guys so hard at this point in the season? They don't care if they win or lose. And I think they're battling with Baltimore to have the worst record in baseball, which is not really tanking in baseball, not really. But there you go. The point is that they don't want to win. They're probably not going to throw out their lefties. That's all. Andre, anything else as far as stacks, or shall we talk to the chat? We have a bunch of questions that compiled by Devin. You guys still have some more questions. Feel free to fire them off. Do our best to knock as many out as possible. If you guys are premium members, ask your question on Crunch Time, which follows us at 6:30 Eastern for premium members only. Andre, anything else as far as stacks, or shall we dig into these questions?
No, we can dig into the questions.
All right, we're going to play the stack game. Andre, you're going to go first. Kirk Dees, you're going to go second. I want 2 numbers. The first number, you're ranking how much you like this stack on a scale of 1 to 5. 5, you love it. 1, you don't like it. First number is like a full stack, 4-man on Vandal, 5-man on DK. Second number is like a secondary stack, like a 2-man, something like that. All right, first team. Andre, you're up first. Atlanta, the Braves versus NOLA.
I'm going to say it like a 2-3.
Yeah, I'm the exact same 2. Don't want them in a full stack, but if NOLA could get to him, and I wouldn't mind trying to pick out 2 home runs in that, especially in the Phillies bullpen isn't that great.
Andre, Cleveland,
I'm going to say a 5 probably.
Ooh.
Wow.
Versus Daniel Lynch.
I'm gonna say 3-5.
Yeah, it's always that sort of quandary with Cleveland where like you can get 3 guys, and once you're putting the 4th and 5th in there, it's kind of rough. But yeah, why they can definitely get the Lynch. Sure, why not? They're locked in for 9 as well. Let's see. Next team up is the Dodgers, Andre.
5-5.
4-4.
It's a late game. I want to see. I don't think we have a Dodger lineup just yet. Pretty sure we don't. No. All right. We do have a Mariners lineup. It looks kind of standard, I think, just from a glance. Minnesota, Andre.
Minnesota is 5-5.
Yeah, I'm with it. Same 5-5.
All right, Boston.
I'm gonna say 3-3.
This is only because I'm a homer.
Do
5-5.
you have a favorite Boston bat tonight, Curtis?
I think JD Martinez finally hits a home run tonight. Finally.
Off the lefty.
Yeah.
Detroit. I don't think we talked much about the Detroit bats there, Andre.
I'm gonna say like a 2-2.
Yeah, you can do the same for me. Maybe 2-3. Maybe like I don't mind Badu. I want 1 bat though.
I like Badu and the scope I'm good with, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at the mouthwash on Yahoo because he's $11.
Haas is like $7 or $8. He's basically the minimum
Yeah.
on Yahoo as well, which I don't hate. Pineda can give up some homers for what it's worth. All right, a few more stacks here before we move off to the rest of the questions. The Angels. We have Ohtani at least leading off. The Angels for you, Andre.
I'm gonna say about a 4, probably like a 4-3 or 4-2 around there.
Curtis?
3-2. I saw that Suzuki made the lineup batting 4th for cheap as cheap catcher play. It looks like that's where I'll be going.
So is what's his name out there? Stassi? No Stassi?
No,
All
he got
right.
it done for us last night though.
Yeah, he's been super cheap on Yahoo as well. Baltimore. What do you have me as far as Baltimore, Andre?
0.
Well, there you go, Curtis. Baltimore's not going to score tonight.
I think that I don't have much faith in Eovaldi, so I actually don't mind some of these bats like Mountcastle and Mullins for sure. So I'll say 2-4.
All right, couple more. Milwaukee versus Mikolas, the Lizard King. What do you have, Andre, for Milwaukee?
1-1. I'm not playing Milwaukee today.
2-3.
Yeah, I'll get a pinch of them. Mikolas doesn't miss any bats, but also like Yelich is so crazy cheap again. Curtis, you have a Yelich rant in you? I'm sure you do. You've played Yelich a ton, I bet. On Yahoo.
The last time I played him, he got a homer for me. So he's all good. He's back in good graces. And I didn't play him yesterday where he went 0 for 4 and went back to his normal routine.
For you, it's all what you did for me lately. That's it. I don't care. It's last at bat. That's all.
I actually do the pricing for Yahoo, if you didn't know that.
Did not know that. Arizona, Andre?
What?
1-1.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Yeah, we're on Alex Wood tonight, so we're going 1-1.
Last team we have on the list here is Texas. I will say Calhoun is still minimum on DK at 2K. And, we're going to do the cash breakdown really quickly. And he's one of the guys that's in the cash game conversation that makes stuff work.
I've been trying to think about this. I'm gonna probably say like 4-3, the same thing with the Angels. I'm gonna play that whole game, honestly.
I'm gonna say 3-4. J squared, Jason Junk, he's not a very good pitcher at all. You get the nice prices on some of these guys on Texas. I could see them having a good game here.
Is he worthy of the nickname though? Or is that got to be a certain level?
I didn't make it. I don't know that people call him J squared. I don't know.
Really? I didn't. What was the nickname I heard yesterday?
Big game with J squared against the Cuban Missile. It's a big game tonight. It's a big matchup. I'm looking forward to.
All right, let's do the cash game breakdown on DK really quickly. This is the reason why I'm not playing cash today, because I didn't want to really embrace Taijuan Walker. I'm probably gonna have some in tournaments begrudgingly. Hopefully not. I haven't made my lineups yet. But the pairing is supposed to be Scherzer and Taijuan Walker. That's what it's supposed to be in cash games. That's what you're supposed to play. The math is telling us that. Kurt Suzuki is super cheap, like you mentioned. He did crack the lineup, and he's what 2.6 on DK. If you have the money, like Sal Perez is just so much better than every other catcher. I love him today, catcher. I don't know if you can make him in a cash game, but for sure, I'm going to do my best to have him in tournaments. The start of the Red Sox, Bobby Dahlbeck, is 3.4K on DK. That seems too cheap. Plenty of power there. Again, we talked about it yesterday. He missed a couple times, but that guy's going to get a hold of it soon enough. Matt Carpenter is 2K, second base and first base. Maybe he's better played at second base, kind of make stuff work. And oh boy, I don't want to play Matt Carpenter, but he is 2K, and I imagine he plays the entire game just because, the seasons, they're locked into their spot, and get him some at bats. If you have all the salary, by all means, Trey Turner. I have him slightly ahead of Polanco. You guys have a take on that, Turner versus Polanco? I prefer Turner.
I'll probably prefer Turner too.
Yeah, I like the stolen base upside. I like both of them though.
Devers, if you have all the money, again, Donaldson, if you don't have enough, Donaldson's 4.2 or 4.3. I think that's basically you're playing at third base. Luis Arraez, probably a better play on FanDuel, where he's 2.1K. I think he's leading off once again today, and he's also $7 on Yahoo. Arraez, he needs more than one event. Like, he's not a guy that's going to bang out a homer, but if he comes up with the bases loaded, he can clean the bases, a ball in the gap, that kind of thing, or he can go 2 for 5 with a couple of runs. That's something he's capable of as well. Every once in a while, he'll swipe a base too, but don't expect a homer out of him, but he is super, super cheap. Nick Gordon is also really cheap on Minnesota. If you don't have the money for Polanco, you'll play Polanco there at shortstop. I'm good with him. I don't think you play Tatis in cash. Of course, I love Bogarts, but at some point the cash, the salary becomes a restricting thing. I love Bogarts in cash if you can get there. I don't know if I'm really forcing it necessarily. And as far as the outfield, Renfroe is an awesome, awesome play. I love Kike Hernandez. I love JD Martinez. All the Red Sox. Renfroe is probably my favorite amongst those three. Buxton, a tick too cheap, I think, tonight. He's no longer 2K on DK when he was doing nothing, but now he's expensive, but he's also still really good. We talked about Willie Calhoun being super cheap as well. Max Kepler is one of my favorite cheapies as well tonight, especially on FanDuel, where he's 2.6. I like him on DK, love him on FanDuel. All right, let's knock out the rest of these questions.
I got no love for a tweet I sent out last night. I got no likes, barely. It was I said I'm gonna tell my kids this was Miguel Sano, and a picture of Pedro Serrano from MLB, or for Major League, I mean.
Yeah.
And, got no love, but I thought I'd get your like.
I didn't see it, for the record. I wasn't shunning you. I just didn't see it. I'm not always on Twitter. Andre, your favorite cheap stack on DK for tournaments? Well, I guess that's probably Miami, like you've been talking about, right?
Miami. I love Miami today. I'm gonna probably have about 10% of them. So probably coming as probably one of my highest on. Well, not my highest on, but probably my 6th or 7th highest on stack that I'm gonna be on tonight. I think that they're just going to get to Walker, and I like playing that leverage and having you and going against Walker.
Michael wants to know, can we treat Walker as if he'll be yesterday's Brady Singer? I kind of hope that's his outcome. Well, I don't want him to get hurt. I think Singer got hurt too, but I don't want him to do well. Is that a thought, Kirk Dees? But you're going to be playing some of him?
I think it's possible. It's in the range of outcomes here for sure, but I'm going to be playing them, so I hope not.
So, Andre, the thought as far as Garrett Cole, even though they secured the wild card spot, aren't they are they battling for the home field in the wild card? I guess.
Well, I looked at it just a minute ago. I think they are locked in. I mean, well, they're not locked in, obviously, but they are, I want to say, how many games up on them? They're 2 games up on the Red Sox, so in a wild card spot. So I pretty much think that they got that almost secured probably with the win, because Seattle's 2.5 games back of them, and then Toronto's 3 games back. So yeah, they pretty much gonna have the home field advantage for the wild card game.
They're asking about the umpires one more time. As far as the umpires, there's 2 extremes. We have an extreme pitchers umpire tonight for Max Scherzer and Ryan Weathers, and an extreme hitters umpire for Eovaldi and Lothar. The Baltimore-Boston game has an extreme hitters umpire. A couple more questions, guys, before we step aside and get out of here, make way for crunch time. Is Matt Carpenter viable for 2K batting cleanup? You could play him, right? Think.
Should we have interest in Hauser?
That's what I kind of said before. That St. Louis lineup is not that great, and Hauser's okay.
He came back. He had a nice little stretch going.
I think I'm gonna play a little bit of Hauser now.
Yeah.
So Kirk D's DK tournament, Wood, Gilbert. What about Barrios? Kind of guys we sort of mentioned in passing. You liked Wood the most, I think, right?
I do. And then I would like Gilbert and then Barrios.
Sonny Gray's throwing pitches tonight. We didn't really acknowledge him. He's a pretty good pitcher, not a great ballpark to pitch in, and also he's got to face the DH now. Andre Sonny Gray, yes, no, maybe, some.
I'm not getting any of them at all.
John wants to know, Kirk D's DK tournament, you like Bader or Lux? Lux is batting 8th tonight, by the way, for the Dodgers. Dodgers is Betts, Seager, Turner. That's Trey Turner. The other Turner is not playing. Smith, Muncy, Pollock, Chris Taylor, and then Lux. So do you like Bader or Lux?
Bader.
Give me some home run calls. I want 3 guys. Be as ambitious as you want to be. Andre, you're going first. Who's banging one out?
Jazz Chisholm is definitely banging one out. I'm gonna give obviously an obvious one. I think Mookie Betts is gonna go yard. And then another little guy that I think is gonna go hit a home run is gonna be in the 7th hole. I'm gonna go Mike Yastrzemski. It's Mike Yastrzemski.
I love the Chisholm call. All right, what do you have for me, Kirk D's?
I got Bobby D. I got JD Martinez.
All Red
I've
Sox?
got Byron Buxton, and I got Lamont Wade gonna hit a bomb in that park.
Last thought here. Buster Posey, yes or no? Can you play him? You can play him.
For sure, you can play him. Yeah.
And Hearns versus that weak Angels lineup. Can you play Hearns? I think you can play Hearns. He's cheap enough.
Yeah, you can. I don't like it. I like just playing both sides of the game, but you can.
I think
go ahead.
This game, it has like, I feel like what Dre's feeling too. I think like this game could like shoot out just with like 2 really bad teams, 2 really bad pitchers, bad pitchers, bad bullpens. It's like one of those NBA. It's like the worst. It's like one of those NBA 2 scrub teams where we're all
Sacramento Kings versus the Suns, circa like 3 years ago, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, we got to step aside and get out of here. We're NBA mode. Can't wait to turn that on in about 3 weeks or so. Do it the like button on your way out. Subscribe, turn on notifications if you want to. I'll be on later talking football with Daigle and Rebar. It's going to be good times, 9 o'clock tonight on the East Coast. Go ahead and check that out. Watch that. Stay tuned for Crunch Time if you guys are premium members. That was Andre, Devin producing. That was Kirk Dees. That was baseball. I was Dean. We're out of here. Holler.